In this video, we are going to be talking about themes that may be disturbing to some viewers, so please keep that in mind as you watch, that although I will be censoring certain words, that there will be some things that I will be talking about that will be very hard to listen to, so please watch at your own discretion. Today, when I was looking up news on Josh Duggar, the information that I found made me so angry that I truly felt that I needed to do this video to bring more awareness to these types of situations. Because when I tell you that there are so many people within these extreme religions that stick beside the person that is hurting an innocent child, this is something that is so incredibly common, and I do think that it's overlooked sometimes. It's not taken as seriously as I truly believe that it should be taken. So today I'm going to be telling you guys about Anna Duggar. I'm going to be telling you guys a little bit about her past, about her family, because I truly believe that one of the reasons why, the biggest reason why it appears as though she's standing behind Josh within all of this has a lot to do with the fact that she was brainwashed. Brainwashing is the concept that human mind can be altered or controlled by psychological techniques. The definition is the process of pressuring someone into adopting radically different beliefs by using systematic and often forcible means. A forcible indoctrination to induce someone to give up basic political, social, or religious beliefs and attitudes and to accept contrasting, regimented ideas. An example of brainwash is to lock new religious converts in a room and teach them the details of a religion without allowing them to access the outside world. Brainwashing is a reduction in one's ability to think critically or independently. Any method of controlled systematic indoctrination, especially one based on repetition or confusion. If you brainwash someone, you force them to believe something by continually telling them that it is true and preventing them from thinking about it properly. Brainwashing is the attempt to change the thoughts and beliefs of another person against their will. Towards the end of this video, I'm also going to be giving you guys the Josh Duggar update, but I do feel like I need to share what I was able to find out about Anna Duggar, because it kind of sheds some light on what she's doing, because I feel like a lot of us that have kept up to date with this and have been seeing how she's been standing beside Josh during all of this have just been like, how could you possibly stand behind someone that has done these atrocious things? I'm going to be telling you guys why I think she's doing that in this video. First, if you have not seen any of my other videos on the Duggars, please make sure that you check the links in my bio, because I've made a few videos about them, and there are going to be some things that I talk about in this video referencing other things as if you have watched my previous videos, because we're going to be talking about IBLP, the ATI curriculum, and I'm not going to go over all of the history behind all of it and just how disgusting and awful it is in this video, because I have already done that. So I feel like a lot of the people that watched my last video didn't watch the ones previously where I was talking about what the Duggars believe. And when I was talking about brainwashing, this is what I was talking about. However, a lot of people like heavily missed the mark in this video, and the things that I was trying to bring attention to, like Jim Bob taking money from his children from their TLC show. Also, where Derek Dillard himself liked an Instagram comment that someone had left him talking about Jill Duggar being brainwashed and also being emotionally abused in the home. People completely ignored that, and they decided to assume that I was talking about the typical Christian religion, get super offended, ignore everything else I said, and make the video entirely about them, specifically their religion and their beliefs, and just completely overlook everything that I was saying in the video or the point of it. So with that being said, I want to give you a forewarning. I am going to be talking about brainwashing in this video. So I feel like there were a lot of people that felt personally threatened by that statement, even though I wasn't specifically talking about them. So I really think that if there's anything I say in this video that you feel that the shoe fits you, that's on you. These views that the Duggar family, the Keller family have, and anybody else who follows this stuff are extremely harmful, especially to women and children within these families. I stand with victims of brainwashing as well as victims of extreme religions who have left and are continuing to deal with the mental health effects of it to this day. With that being said, let's talk about Anna Duggar and how I believe the way that she was raised is the reason why she stands behind Josh Duggar, regardless of being the mother of 6 children with 1 on the way, when it is her duty to protect attacked them over her marriage to this disgusting man. Anna Duggar was born Anna Renee Keller on June 23rd, 1988, making her a Cancer. She is the 5th child out of her 7 siblings, and her parents are Michael and Lily Keller. Her father was a welder, but he left his job in 1996 to minister full-time to inmates. And because of this, it's said that Anna would often go with him to work with incarcerated women.
What about growing up with mom and dad working in prison most of the time?
Wow, that's a good question. For prison, they did ministry work in the prison ministry, and it was such a blessing for my parents to be able to come back and share with us what God did in the lives of the men and women that they were working with. And it gave us a desire to be able to one day work in the ministry, as the prison ministry, just volunteering on like once a month or sometimes once a week, and just be able to go in and see God change lives. That was such a blessing.
And it was exciting.
It's said that her parents are even more strict than the Duggar family, which, to be honest with you, I don't really know how they possibly could be. Apparently, Anna's parents set up this whole thing where with all of the children, once a week, they would have a 15-minute meeting with them where they would basically discuss all of their feelings. It was their time to be able to share it with them. When I was growing up, if I was having feelings and emotions about anything, I could go to my parents at any time of the day for it, and they would be there to listen to me. I feel like that's what your parents should do. Teaching your children that there is a structured time every single week where they're allowed to talk about their feelings, and then the rest of the time they're not, is teaching them to suppress how they feel. And I don't think that that's right. I think that that's very weird. I also wanted to bring some attention to this clip that I'm going to show you guys right here, where, if I'm hearing Anna correctly, what she is saying is that she found out about being intimate with your husband only 2 weeks before she married Josh.
My mom and I, a couple weeks before we got married, were able to sit down and have a conversation about what marriage was and how special it is once you're married to be able to be intimate emotionally and physically with your husband, and it was special. And I think it's important to wait until you need that information to get it, because a lot of people get it too soon and they end up making choices that they regret.
It sounds as though she didn't get any information about having to sleep with him. Like, she was so sheltered she didn't even know that that was a thing. And this is not me making fun of Anna or shaming her. I feel horrible for her. I can't imagine having parents that didn't talk to me about these things and finding out 2 weeks before my wedding night about what intimacy even is. This is not a reflection of Anna. This is a reflection of her parents. Also, the Keller family raised all of their children up in the same exact homeschool curriculum that the Duggar family was raised up, which is with the ATI curriculum. I told you guys this in a previous video, which I will have linked up there for you guys, about why the ATI curriculum and IBLP is as disturbing as it is. So please make sure you guys watch those videos. It's absolutely awful. Knowing that Anna was raised under the same curriculum, the same homeschool group, it kind of helps explain to me a little bit about why she is the way that she is, because we learned that women are taught to not talk back, to smile and basically be happy and agreeable. They have to dress a certain way, have their hair a certain way. They have to serve their husbands, who is right under God, basically making him the most important member in the family. He's above everybody else in the household. They teach the women that their goals are to pop out babies, basically to further indoctrinate them into the same messed up beliefs that they have. They have to be the perfect wife and mother, and that's their job. That's what they're taught to do. They're not taught to go educate themselves, to go to school if they want to have a career if they want to. Anna said that she had attended an event in IBLP that's called Journey to the Heart. On their website, it says that Journey to the Heart was created to give young people, and now even parents, an opportunity to discover the love of God in a way that they may have never experienced before. It's said that this event is meant to provide a time and a place for people where they can be fully discipled within their relationship with God. But of course, this isn't free, as we know things like this love to take money from people, like tell people we're gonna do these really good things for you. You gotta pay us first. If you follow the ATI curriculum, which teaches young girls that they're essentially blow-up dolls for their husbands, you get a discount. It was actually very interesting for me to discover that Anna had saw Josh on 14 Children and Pregnant Again that aired on September of 2004 before she even knew the family. According to Inquisitor, Anna remembered seeing Josh and loved how he was waiting to find the perfect match instead of courting the first girl that he came across. So I guess with that, it kind of shows us that Anna had her eye on Josh from the beginning. She liked that they had a very large family, that she did, and also she kind of took in the footsteps of Michelle as well, because all of the kids that they would pop out, they would give them all names that start with M. I think that is just so weird, especially knowing that she watched them before she married into the family. But of course, Josh and Anna met on one of their homeschooling events in 2006, and allegedly due to her parents' strict rules, she wasn't even allowed to talk to her siblings about Josh. Shortly after Josh and Anna met, they were courting, which we got to see on TLC, as well as the engagement and the wedding. And it's also said that Anna refused to court him until she was 18 years old, which to me, I'm like, why would you even be thinking about getting married at 17, 16 anyways? But in their religion, that's what they're taught to do.
Dating is training for divorce. It's like, oh, I'm in love, and a week later they break up. Next guy, oh, I'm in love. 2 weeks later they break up. And it's training for a divorce mentality, where courtship is first praying and asking the Lord, I love you more than anybody. So is this the person you want me to marry?
They got married on September 26th, 2008 at Beaufort Grove Baptist Church in Hillard, Florida, and then they had their first child the next year in 2009. They would go on to have 5 more children, and as of right now, Anna is currently pregnant with their 7th. So we discussed in the previous video how Josh Duggar had essayed his siblings and a babysitter when he was a kid. He actually told her parents, Anna's parents, and also Anna about this before they even got married. So they were made aware of this and did not put a stop to it, which always really disturbed me.
I just remember when I was growing up, I felt very insecure and unprotected when I dated. And this is a very protecting situation where fathers and daughters work together to find the right one, and that way the guy has to be accountable to the dad, and he better toe the line.
Amen.
It's like this family is so strict on women, on what they can, on what they can't do. But if a man does something like what Josh did, you need to forgive him. And you know what? Why don't you just go ahead and marry him anyways? It's not about raising up children to be educated and smart and good in society. It's not about protecting your children. It's about brainwashing them into a cult. That's all it is. It's a cult. Now, Anna was so sheltered and brainwashed into this stuff that a source had told People that she didn't fully understand the entirety of what had happened with Josh and his siblings and the babysitter, along with the fact that her parents were made aware of this and just brushed it under the rug like it was no big deal. Like any normal parent would tell their daughter, run the other direction. Get away from this man. If he's already doing this when he's a child, he is not someone you want to marry and have children with. Now, let me show you something that is in the ATI curriculum that I did not show in my previous video that I just recently found, which I think speaks volumes. This is called Lessons from Moral Failures in a Family. It says, the parents were shocked and grieved as social workers visited their home and confirmed reports that an older brother was guilty of SAing younger ones in his family. The damage to the younger children, the ridicule to the cause of Christ, the shame of detailed publicity, and the scars to the life and reputation of the boy were indescribably painful to the family and their friends. The boy did repent of what he had done. Now the time has passed. He was asked the following questions. What were the early indications that you had the problem? What conditions or circumstances contributed to the problem? What steps could your parents have taken before it happened? What could have been done to avoid it? What teaching could have been given to each child to resist evil? Can we process that? There's several things wrong in this. One thing, what teaching could have been given to each child to resist evil? This is the millionth time within the ATI curriculum that it puts some sort of responsibility on the victim. What factors in the home contributed to immodesty and temptation? Basically saying that anything that your siblings could do in the house would make you be tempted to do these things to them. The boy wrote out the following answers to these questions. The information he gives is so helpful that every parent should read it and diligently apply the lessons that this family learned the hard way. So I'm going to put some of these things up on the screen if you guys would like to pause it and to read through them. This blew my mind because this sounds exactly like what Josh Duggar did, but it was written and put in the ATI curriculum in the 90s before Josh ever did anything to his siblings. There's also another page that is on counseling essay, which has an entire section that is dedicated to why did God allow it to happen, which means these people are being taught that the thing, the higher power that they are to look at, that is above all else, that is above them, that is greater than everything, that created them, would actually allow any of this to happen to them. Guys, the boys, the young children, the young boys in this cult are being taught that it's normal and that it's not their fault. And the girls in this religion, the young girls and the young children in this religion are being taught that it is their duty to avoid these things happening. And if they don't, they are at fault for some of it. So a brief rundown of the current scandal is Josh Duggar was caught with possession of CP. And although in any situation being caught with any of that stuff, looking at that stuff, participating in it in any way, shape, or form is all horrific, no matter the severity of it or not, it's all just as bad as the first one. The investigators into the situation said that some of it was the worst material that they had ever seen. Now, Josh was arrested for this and he got out on bail. He's still currently allowed to see his children, although their visits have to be supervised by Anna. And of course, she continues to take them. I have serious doubts of Anna's credibility to keep Josh from being around these children, like without her present, because of the fact that she doesn't seem to think he did anything wrong. So if she's behind closed doors with Josh and she doesn't think he did anything wrong, why is she going to keep her eye on him the whole time? Not only did Jim Bob and Michelle put out a statement that they love Josh and Anna after all this came out, but Anna didn't put out a statement at all. She said nothing. Continues to regularly visit Josh Duggar at his guardian's place, alleged that the family is actually helping take care of their children, because I've seen people say that she's spending so much time there that she basically lives there, spending almost every single night in the home with Josh. Here's my thing. If that's true, if like she's staying there almost every night, having her family take care of her children so that she can be around Josh, who was accused of horrific things. Ooh, I got serious beef with Anna, you guys. I got serious beef. You know, she hasn't said out of her own mouth anything about this, but what has come out about the fact that she's repeatedly going there, to me, speaks volumes. It's clear with what we do know that she continues to stand behind him regardless of all of the evidence against him. Like when the scandal had broke loose prior to this situation, I believe it was in 2015. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was in 2015 when the Ashley Madison leak had happened, where all of the people that were a part of the website's names got put out there. When Josh Duggars was on that and it came out that he had cheated, I felt really, really sorry for her. I hope that she would leave him and find someone that would love her. But of course she stayed because she's brainwashed to do so. Then this happens that's 10,000 times more severe, where her husband is caught looking at horrific material of children, and she continues to believe that he didn't do it despite all of the evidence that he did. This is not by any means me giving excuses for Anna, because there is no excuse for this behavior, because now she is an adult and she has children that it should be her goal to protect. However, I will say I do believe that her brainwashing and lack of knowledge and education when it comes to, you know, just being a normal everyday human, with, you know, the fact that she didn't even know about being intimate with her husband until 2 weeks before she married him. This guides me to believe that if there is any reason for this whatsoever, that it would have to be that Anna is so sheltered and brainwashed that she truly is not fully educated on this topic. This is exactly why these cults are incredibly dangerous. This is why I speak up against them. I do feel bad that she was brainwashed and that her parents didn't educate her and that she wasn't given the proper tools to, be equipped with the knowledge that she needed in order to handle a situation like this. But I can't have more sympathy for her and her brainwashing than I do for the innocent children that need to be protected. And if they have one parent like Josh Duggar, then the other one needs to step up and do something about this. Josh's attorneys have come out and they have tried to claim that there were other people that worked at the place where the material was found on his computer. But the thing is that it was found on a computer that not only had Josh's family as the desktop wallpaper, which would indicate that it was Josh's computer, but the police found the material on a computer that had a password lock on it that was the same password that Josh used for literally every other account, including his bank account. Yet his attorneys at one point, I don't know if they're still trying to go with this, but at one point they were trying to claim that you need to investigate into other people there. I really doubt that the people that Josh worked with would get on his computer with his desktop wallpaper and use his password to go look at this stuff. To me, with even just that information, there is no way that Anna could believe that he was innocent in this. And to make it worse, the newest bit of information that I found today, you guys, if Anna stays with him after this, I don't want to hear anybody say to me that I shouldn't be so harsh on this woman. I don't want to hear it from anyone. I had heard that when they had arrested Josh, that they took pictures of his hands and feet. And at first when I heard about this, because I'm dumb, I guess, I didn't understand why. I was like, why did they take pictures of his hands and feet? And then his attorneys were requesting that they not show these pictures in court. And I'm like, why? Like, what's the big deal? Like, they were saying that they were taken without his permission and it was against his rights, that I guess he was just so frazzled when he got arrested that he didn't think to deny them the right to take these pictures of his hands. But I was like, why are they making such a big deal about it? Today, as I'm filming this video, you guys, I found out that the reason why they took pictures of his hands is because there is a scar on them. And this scar matches a scar on the hands in some of these photos that were found on Josh's computer. If these hands are a match, not only did he have this material and look at it, but he was also making it. Anna Duggar, you have a responsibility as a mother to protect your children above anything else, above what you were taught to believe, above the brainwashing by your family, above your love for him. You have a responsibility. The second that someone starts popping out children with somebody, your main priority above all else is not to stand behind your husband regardless of what he does. It is to protect these innocent lives that are completely and helplessly dependent on you to do so. Continuing to stand behind Josh after this has come out is absolutely horrific. And as I'm filming this video and when it goes up, if it has come out as you guys are watching this video that she's made a statement where she's not standing by him, if she's divorcing him or leaving him after this evidence came out, totally discount everything that I'm saying. But as of right now, that has not happened. And everything I've seen up to this point has been that she continues to believe that he's innocent. I feel so sorry for these poor kids and so helpless. I have heard so many stories where women have stood by their husbands when they have done horrific things to their children, and it's disgusting. And in my personal opinion, it's almost just as bad as the person that's doing it because you're allowing it to happen. I got a couple comments from people, not too many of them, but a few people that clearly have missed the point, just completely glaze over the point entirely, that have said that they're not doing anything to anybody and just saying that they did nothing wrong. So why am I talking about them? Not only did Jim Bob and Michelle allow Josh back in the home to continuously do what he did to his sisters, which happened on numerous occasions because they allowed him back in there. Not only did they do that, but Anna's essentially doing the same thing by continuing to stand behind Josh regardless of what he was caught with. They are responsible at that point for anything that's happened to these children. Once they know about something, like once they know that he's done this the first time, if it happens a second time under their roof, they are responsible for it, because at that point, the first time you hear something like that happen, you have a duty to protect these innocent children above anybody else. But Jim Bob, Michelle, Anna, all of them seem to care more about protecting Josh than they do these kids. And it's disgusting. The fact that in their teachings, that what they're teaching these kids, as if it's school, as if it's homework, that they're responsible for these things happening to them. And the fact that in their curriculum that they have any booklets that are about this at all shows how often it happens in these extreme religious cult-like families. If you have like an entire section about it, it's happening way too much. My goal is to really expose how disgusting this is, because the ATI curriculum should be shut down. It should not exist. Nobody should be allowed to teach their children this shit under the guise of it being homeschool. This is not homeschool. This is crap. You guys are gonna have to let me know what you think down below, and if you want more videos on the Duggars, give this video a thumbs up, because it lets me know that that's what you guys want to see. And also, just so that you're aware, I do have members content. It's there for you if you would like to join and help support my channel, but it's totally optional, because you being a subscriber is good enough for me. And also, my previous video was about a Titanic survivor, Violet Jessup. So if you guys are interested in checking out that video, I will also have it linked up there. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I will see you guys very soon for another video.